What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Del Archie from Inkie Quill, and today I decided to do something. Yes, I decided to move my craft room. Now, I know this will be hotly debated because I was very excited to have my own craft room away from this guy. Yeah, away from you. But it's proving to be a bit difficult because I haven't had regular work days. If you watch our vlog channel, you'll know this. And he's very mummy attached. So my craft room can't survive with him just crawling around on it. But this way I can craft here. Yes. And Archie can just play next to me in the lounge room so that I can actually achieve something, because we all know there's not enough minutes in the day. So enjoy the tour. I'm going to take you around and show you, but this is probably my favourite part, just like all of this. Now keep in mind, Archie doesn't crawl around this section. There, I will show you, but he's in jail, we call it. It's the baby gated section of the lounge room. We have a very long lounge room, and the bunnies aren't either. They're behind this wall in their own section. So come along, we're gonna have fun. You're gonna be asleep in this video, but I'll show you the rest of the craft room. Alrighty, so this is probably my favourite part of the whole thing. Never mind Archie's pink ball over there, but this just makes me very, very happy. So originally, if you follow our vlog channel, this was where the bookcase was with all of Archie's books, which Mind the Mess is now down there, which I think kind of looks really, looks cool. It looks like it's meant to be there. It looks fun and colourful. But back to this, because that's what we're here for today. So what I've done is I kind of was getting a bit sad. Not a bit sad, but just a bit, I don't know, just a bit flat that I never show my albums to anyone. No one ever looks at my albums unless I'm at a scrapbook retreat and people come up and ask to look at them. My friends have never seen any of them. My family don't really look at them. So I thought I'd put them out here. So what I've got is, that's an album that I'm working on with my nan. These two are full Happy Mail binders, and I have a video over on Let's Get Inky with how I put those together, and then I have an empty one which I need to fill up. Childhood album, and then we follow, you've seen this all before, we've got 2013 including the epic wedding, 2014 Project Life, so that was before I did layouts. Then I discovered layouts in December of 2014, and then these are a smattering of Project Life and layouts. It's kind of a hodgepodge. Then my favourites, 2016 Project Life and layouts, and then little 2017's there. It's not finished, it hasn't got labels, it's not very pretty at all. Next up, this one down here, my goal is that all of the things in here are things that I actually use, and then the other things in the craft room are things that I sometimes use. Technically this basket should be in the craft room, but I have an empty space and it looks pretty, so I thought I'd include that here. And this is just spare like mini albums, and there's a project back there that I had started about my childhood, so it's kind of just spare albums, but it looks pretty, so it can stay there for now. Over here, I'm quite proud, this is all the paper I've got. So this is a my Flutterby Designs kit. Oh, hang on, I'm a bit wobbly here. That's better, I'm sitting down now. So this is my Flutterby Designs kit, which I haven't had a chance to play with yet because I only got it last week. And then under that I have the, why is my focus being so funny today? I have the Jane Davenport paper pad, as well as the Flourish crepe paper, which is a new one, and the Carousel. And then I have a plastic baggie with any extra papers and scraps. And then that's my Cocoa Vanilla More Than Words stuff. Let me just pop That's not going to go back in now. I can go back in later. And then under it I just have mini albums, which eventually will probably go in this crevice. Over here I've got a couple of things that I do kind of use. I've got my 9x12 page protectors in an album. This one stores some small dies, which I use with my diamond press, and then this magazine holder has Frankie magazines, my En Masse journal, what else is in there? Some magazines to cut up. It's kind of just art journaling stuff. In the back I've got my little abandoned enamel dots container. I've picked a few favourites and I'll just I'll just cycle, not recycle, cycle through them as needed. And then in the front here I've got my little box of iCads that Aaron and I have made. Down in this one I've got my selfie printer. It's not too exciting. Selfie printer and paper. I got these containers from some sort of $2 shop here in Australia, or Bunnings, one or the other. These two are quite similar in that they're kind of extra art supplies, so I won't go through them all, but I've got gelatos, Nouveau drops, punch shapes, my resin bowl, my bowl of Neil if you're an old school inklet. Then that one's got inks in it, and then this top one has a whole heap of Heidi Shines that I should use but I forget about. So these are kind of my gone but not forgotten cupboards. That'd be a good name for a series, actually. Actually, I could do that and see what I actually use and what I don't. Up the top there I've got extra dilutions, black ink and my alcohol inks, and then extra acrylic paint. I've just grabbed a couple of adhesive tapes here so that I don't have to go all the way into my actual craft room when I need more tape. And then I've got watercolour palettes on the side. And then this one is just extra embellishments. So I've got my diamond press, I've got tags, frames, and fancy scissors, just a few little bits and pieces, which in all honesty I probably won't reach for, but these spots were available, and if I need to change something, this stuff will be the first to go. So that's the shelf, and I'm really happy looking at all of my albums. It's just nice to see them outside the craft room, outside the depths of the darkness of the craft room. And then next to it over here, I'm sorry if you're going to hear bunnies biting in the background, but it's late at night because it's the only time I can film, and they're chewing. It's their witching hour. They go crazy. Over here I have one Rascog, and then my other Rascog will go just on the other side too, but I was crafting with it. This is probably the Rascog that I don't need next to me all of the time, unless I'm doing art journaling. So it's nice to have out here, but I can just leave it here. So at the top I've got my favourites. I've got all of my pens. You've seen this all before, so I'll just go quickly. Tombow dual brush markers, Artline sticks with an X. They're fun, they're brush pens. My Prismacolor pencils. I've got some Faber-Castell big brush Pitt artist pens. More Prismacolors, black and white Posca paint pens and the silicone brushes, coloured paint pens, Posca pens, that's the brand of them, as well as the Jane Davenport mermaid markers, chalk textures, and a pencil case that has some highlighters in it, and then just pens and glues, and my leaky Heidi Shine. I've put my Heidi Shine over here because I do have a new one that I've been using, but I've lost it temporarily. It'll come back one day. Then on the next shelf, look at that empty space. Oh my goodness. On the next shelf, I really love this. This was just a fluke. It's a container that I got from a cheap shop. I don't know where I got it, but it fits perfectly, and it also fits traveller's notebooks perfectly. So I've got on the side here my Dina Wakley journal, as well as this. I don't think I've showed you this one, but my friend Zoe from Cocoa Vanilla bought me the beautiful Lunch Lady. It's a magazine that is just very pretty. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and it has the nicest paper. It if you're a paper lover, you'll appreciate this. I think it's Australian, but she bought one for herself too, and we're using them as art journals. So I made that art journal page. I only got it a couple of weeks ago from her, and yeah, I'm going to work through that. But my goal is to try and finish the beast first. I'm going to try and finish that Dina Wakley one first because I just want to get it done. So here I've got my traveler's notebook, and oh, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek actually. I did just finish my first insert, which is very exciting. Sorry for the very harsh lighting. There you go. I did just finish my first insert and I covered it, which was fun. That'll be another video as well. And I covered the back. Oh, and I contacted it too, so it's nice and delicious. And it's all done. So there'll be a flip through of this over on Let's Get Inkie. Probably, I'm a few videos in advance over there, so probably end of March, early April. You'll see this, probably early April actually. So stay tuned for that one. Not going to get that done up now. And then over here I have another traveler's notebook that beautiful subscriber Alice sent to me, and I've also been doing a bit of journaling in that one. I've got my 2 use it up journals and my junk journal that I'm working in. Over here I've got paintbrushes and spatulas, all sorts of paintbrushes and some misters, and then an empty container. All my watercolours are hiding behind there too. Down here, this is just a basic one. I've got some whipped spackle, which is a type of kind of texture paste from Faber-Castell in there. I used it for a class and I had leftovers, so I'm just making my way through using it. I've got some Dina Wakley heavy body acrylic paints, my baby wipes, which are a necessity. I've got some extra like mediums back there, so gloss gel medium, things I don't use too often but still do want at hand, PVA glue, that type of thing. I've got embossing powder in there, and that's my traveler's notebook stuff. There's a video all about that on Let's Get Inkie. So that's where that shelf is, and I'm only limiting myself to that shelf. And then if we spin around, excuse the giant mess, we've been busy all weekend being sick, and we haven't really had, we've been focusing on moving stuff. Well, Aaron's done most of this moving, which I'm very, very grateful for. I'm going to turn off my studio lights because they're very, very bright. Let me see. By the way, I've had a few people ask about these. I got them from eBay. It's very, very, very bright. I got them from eBay and they were, I think, only like $70. They were a bargain. So this is my desk setup, which I absolutely love because I can be here and Archie can be in here, and I can keep an eye on him. Excuse the toys, I haven't done the evening pick up and put in the cube shelves yet, but it's really handy because I can kind of get a bit more done, which was the whole purpose of moving out here, so that I could actually make stuff, because I haven't been having regular work days. It's kind of whenever all the family's health is going good, then that's when I have a work day. But I have my embellishment trolley, which the top shelf hasn't changed. So I just did a video for that for you guys not long ago. So the top shelf hasn't changed, except I've got a few new sticker sheets, that's all. And look at these. My friend Anita found them in Riot Art and Craft. What was that? Did you guys hear that? That was like people screaming out of their car as they drove past. That was very loud. Yeah, my friend Anita found these at Riot while I was with her, and she saw the look on my face and gave them to me, and I'm so excited to use them because it's like my dream puffy sticker. So top shelf is still the same. Stickers, chipboard and puffy and enamel stickers, wood veneer, kind of chunky things, and my Project Life cards. The next shelf has changed drastically because a lot of that stuff has actually gone in that tub over in the other shelves. So on this side I have, let's see, what do I have? I have my past kit, so my present design team kits and my past ones. So this is my present March Citrus Twist kit, which I have already filmed my 3 projects for. So I've done the projects. I'm a bit sick of it because I've done the last 3 things with it. So I'm just going to pop it here for a moment and then come back to it in a couple of weeks' time. And then I've got the months before and a Reset Girl one there as well. Here I've got my little tub of embellishments, and at the back I've got my sequins. This is meant to have gold glitter hearts in it, but as you can see, I'm out. I need to do some punching very, very soon. This side has an assortment of things. So first up, these pouches are so handy. I used to use them while teaching, which is why they've got names on them, so just ignore the names. I've got doilies in this one, DIY embellishments and filler cards in that one. My Patreon printables in that one. This one has bits that I want to use to make DIY embellishments, like 6x6 cut aparts and things. This one has 6x6 paper pads just sitting in it. I find that it's easier to keep them together because I do tuck the scraps just into the pads, and if you stand them up then they'll just simply fall out. A couple of new embellishment packs that are doubles, so I've just popped them there. Empty pouch, and my very fancy receipt filing for the last month of tax. Stay. Alright. Then down here I've got my little container of punches, and then these are kind of embellishments that I don't know if I want anymore, so I'm just popping them there to deal with later, pretty much. That's the premise of that. Now let's go under my desk. I know this is a bit dark, but it's because it's very late at night. It's the best I can do, sorry guys. So under my desk, let's start at the bottom. Down here I've got some very expensive bunny distressing that the buns did at the old house. So and some cobwebs too. They cost extra with the desk, of course. I'm thinking of, because the bunnies aren't near my desk anymore, I'm thinking of painting the legs white. We'll see. That could be a future project. But at the front here, I have my little, are these Diane Reaver, or are they just Ranger? I think they might be just Ranger. And they're these fantastic little bags that I bought that very perfectly, sorry, the focus is going in and out today. They very perfectly fit the Dylusions paints in them, so that's very handy. I have one of warm colours and one of cool colours. Next up, I just have my ATG just tucked in there, just hanging out. I'm trying to keep it off my desk so that I have a bit more space. In this back one, I just have, it's just gesso, modelling paste, matte gel medium, a little bit of bubble wrap, and some blending extra tools. That's it for that one. Up here I have my background stamps, which you've all seen me use lots of times, and a black ink pad. I find it so handy to have the ink pad stored with these stamps because I only ever use them with black. And then my mists are just in this white container from IKEA. I'm so sorry about the focus. It's because it's late at night and it's having difficulties. And then in the back there I just have some tissues because I've been sick, and they're just kind of, it's just handy to have really. I've done something different here. Usually I have paper pads in this funny bit. It's a funny design. It has these little, oh excuse the bunny hair too, that's a bit embarrassing. It has these little shelves, and there's one at the back too, but the back ones are just silly. Like, unless you've got your desk out in the open, you can't really use it that well. I used to have paper pads and they'd hang out about 2 inches, and it really drove me crazy. So what I've got instead is I've got my 2 albums that I'm currently working on. So this one is from December last year. There will be more layouts to go in this one as well, but I've been working hard in this one getting some stuff done. Why aren't you focusing? Doing some layouts and things off camera. Most of those, oh, you saw that one. That was a process video. I did that one the other day. That was fun, just a nice easy one to do at home. And then I did another one just the other day. Where did it go? Where, oh, where is it? Maybe it wasn't in this one. I don't think it was. So this is all, oh, I love this page. Have a look at this one. I can't wait to do this one. So we had 5 days straight of Christmas, and I cooked a lot over Christmas. And so every time we had a Christmas meal, almost every time, I took a photo of it. And so this is a photo of our Christmas. So we've got, the bunnies had a Christmas wreath that I made them. Then we had scrambled eggs, bacon, croissants, mangoes, and what else do we have? Strawberries for breakfast on Christmas Day. Then for nibbles, I made a little Christmas tree of nibblies and crackers. Then we had our nut mix that we made, and I loved it. It's not really a nut mix, it's a snack mix. It's got like one nut in it. Then we had Boxing Day. Hang on, I'm confused now. Boxing Day lunch was a roast. I made this really cool pastry Nutella Christmas tree. We had drinks and nibbles for my dad's birthday on Boxing Day, and we had a friend's picnic a few days later, but I also missed other things as well. So, bit of a tangent. You know, it's not an Inkie video unless there's an odd tangent. So I've got this album, and I'm just sticking it here, and I'm finding, I've only been here for like 2 days, but I am finding that it's helping me from not having a fort, because usually I just open the album here on the floor, and it's a pain, and yeah, it's a big pain. So that's really, really helping. And I'll just move my chair. We can see what's under this side. My paper towel doesn't fit on the shelf, so it's just hanging out on the floor there. At the back, I've got my 12 by 12 stencils because I don't want to put them on the Rascog. They're fine, just tucked in there. Honestly, I don't reach for them as much as my other one, which is just here. You've all seen before. I'm not going to drag it out, but I have my display folder filled with stencils, as well as a container of the tissue paper and foam, and a container of magazine images. Then here, oh, this is new. I'm going to talk about this because I'm thinking this might be helpful for me and it might help someone else. I picked this up tonight at Kmart for, I think it was $4 or $5, and it's a mini file folder with little pockets. I'm going to use this to store my ephemera for Project Life, because what happens is I might get a really cute clothing tag or a movie ticket or a card or something I want to include in my Project Life which I'm not up to in my album, and it just gets lost. It just floats around, and I find it ages later when I don't have any more holes left in my page protectors and I've already done the layout. So for this, I'm going to put a post-it note on and mark the weeks if I have something that I want to put in my Project Life, and I'm thinking that could be very helpful. So if you have the same problem as I do, maybe see if you can find a little file folder. Then I have this magazine little holder with just kind of my favourite thickers. In all honesty, I probably have about 80 thickers. At least more than 50. 60, something like that, and I always reach for the same ones. So I've got my faves out here. My bin is just on a hook. Then up here I've got my roller stamps. A lot of people have asked why I have numbers on them. I have one, I think it was my first year of YouTubing. I have a video on Inkie Quill about why the numbers are there and how I store my roller stamps, so check that out on Inkie Quill if you're wondering. I have my washi tape, and at the back there I have my tiny word stickers, as well as some extra of those Simple Stories photo flips that you can put extra photos on. Over here I have my other album that I've been working on. So this is 2018. Do you want a sneak peek? I'll show you a sneaky peeky. So this one is the one I took away on my girls' weekend, and I printed all of the photos. It did take forever. Hang on, let's see if we can avoid the glare. There we go. So I took this away on my girls' weekend and I printed all of my photos for this year, which did take an entire day. And then I did 19 pages altogether. So this is one that I did using some of the printables for February. And then we've got this one. I actually just filmed a process video. It's using Citrus Twist goodies for March. And I was kind of just going around and just doing as much as I can with whatever scraps and things I had lying around. That's another Citrus Twist one for March. And then this is a layout that I absolutely love. Look at that pattern paper background, branching out, peeps. Very, very slowly branching out. So this doesn't have a process video because I did it while I was away. And then I also did this one while I was away, and I used some napkins, some serviettes in the background, which I really, really love. And let's see, what else have I got? That one's just using scraps, using little bits and pieces. This one's using some of the printables for February as well. Because I do use my products too, which I know sounds a bit silly, but I love them and I spend so much time making them that I want to use them in my project life as well. So that's a bit of a sneak peek. I won't show you the rest because otherwise the flip through will be, you would have seen everything. So that's my 2018 album currently. Let's pop that away. Over here. There we go. And then in this drawer, I'm sorry if this is shaky and a bit out of focus, but in this drawer, all I have is a photo I want to give my dad, the alcohol ink papers. Tomorrow I'm going to film a process video using these, so they'll be your next Patreon video. I've got some tape and my cutter and just some spare washi tape and scissors. And then on my desk, hang on, I've got to stand up for this. This isn't a good angle. So I'm quite proud. On my desk, I've only got one thing, technically. So I've got this little tin with a photo of the three of us on there, and in it I have my Staedtler pigment liners, a pencil, a white journaling pen, my glue, tiny attacher and staples, and 2 pairs of scissors. And that's the only thing allowed on my desk. I do have a coaster for my drinks because I always have juice and water while I'm scrapbooking, and I can't put that on the floor or anything because I'll knock it over. I just use a roll of kids art paper, and it's handy because I can get mist all over it and not worry. On this side I have my power board, and then I have this little gnome. I do have 2 things kind of technically, but I have this gnome and I'm kind of just using him as a rest. Look at how filthy my iPad is. Jeez Louise, Archie was playing with it today. He was trying to attack it and eat it. So there's little fingerprints and then there's big mama fingerprints. Oh, and you can see me, hello. But that's all I've got on my desktop, and I'm hoping that the combination of having a clear desktop and also having my albums in these little hidey holes will help me not to create craft maths. I'm hoping. So let me know if you liked my new craft space. I am still using the other room as kind of like craft storage. I know that sounds ridiculous, but, and yes, we do have a fridge just there, but it's just hanging out until we can put it out on the back deck. And yes, I have a whole spare Raskog. What can I do with it? Let me know in the comments. What should I do with this spare Raskog? I never thought I'd see the day when I'd have a spare Raskog. But do let me know if you like my new craft space. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek. I will probably do a full like YouTube tour, but not for months, not until I'm actually content with a craft space, because I seem to change things quite a lot. I didn't show you up the top here. I just have a canvas that I made ages ago, not ages ago, like a year ago. A lot of things have happened in a year. And then this was a canvas that I was given, that I did a video for. Spotlight, that's what it was. And it's a watercolor canvas. I've got this little vase of Thumper that Aaron bought me one year, an artwork our friends gave us, vintage camera. This I love, it's my grandpa's trick box and you have to pull different things to get it to open. And then my long paintbrushes and Aaron's Inkie Quill, which has probably seen better days. It's a little bit squashed and manky, but it's okay. And then these little bunnies that I always think look like, oh, focus. I always think they look like Poppet and Frida. So that's the tour, peeps. I hope it wasn't too blurry and didn't make you feel too sick, but I really wanted to show you because I'm very excited about my new space and what I can do in it. Please do let me know, what would you like me to film next for you, because I've got the 15th planned. That's a printables process video as usual, but I haven't got anything planned for the 20th, 25th or 30th. So if there's any ideas that you'd really love to see, please let me know and I'll get to filming for those for you as soon as I can. Alright guys, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!